Well, Russia definitely has some legitimate security concerns, and I'm not sure about grievances. They ignore their legitimate security concerns. What they're focusing on are not legitimate security concerns. If we take the question of the missile installations in Eastern Europe, the Russian position is simply absurd. And the advantage of it is that nobody in Russia understands these issues, or virtually no one. In fact, the relatively token deployment of anti-missile batteries in Poland doesn't come anywhere near to being capable of interfering with the Russian ICBM force, which in any case is based in the north, in the center of the country, and were an attack to be launched, would be it would be launched over the North Pole, not in the direction of the American interceptors. Those interceptors are slow. They would never catch the ICBMs because they would start from a launch point thousands of miles away. Similarly, in the case of Georgia and Ukraine, these are countries that were once part of the Soviet Union. They have long-established personal and traditional ties with Russia. Potentially, they're very friendly toward Russia. Their desire to be part of the Western alliance no more presages a desire to attack Russia or to put Russia at a military disadvantage than in fact, the desire of the former Warsaw Pact countries to become part of NATO threatened Russia. What is at stake is a desire to be part of the West, to adopt a new way of life, to strengthen democratic institutions, to turn a page in the country's history. And all of these things are not threatening to Russia militarily. They are threatening to Russia only insofar as they set an example for the Russian people, which could be a problem for the undemocratic Russian leadership. That's the threat. Now, if Russia is concerned about real security threats, they ought to be concerned about what would happen if NATO were to leave Afghanistan, for example. And they ought to be concerned also about the development of nuclear weapons in Iran, because Iran is ruled by religious fanatics who really in their heart of hearts have no more sympathy for Russia than they have for anybody else in the West. And I think and now I'm referring to Russia as part of the West, albeit perhaps the most conditional part of the West because of its undemocratic traditions. Nonetheless, Russia does partake to a certain point, up to a certain point, in Western Christian civilization or Judeo-Christian civilization. And the Iranian leaders perfectly well understand this. They also understand that the Russians are opportunistic and unprincipled. But that won't in the long run gain their respect, nor will it ensure that Russia will not be subjected to pressure from Iran. There are unresolved territorial questions between Russia and Iran, by the way. Right now, Iran's attention is not directed toward Russia. It's directed toward Israel. It's directed toward other countries, directed toward the United States, toward the United Kingdom. There's no guarantee that in the future it won't be directed toward Russia.